So these concepts of ascension and descension, when I'm joking a little bit, but it's not a mystery, right? It doesn't have to be a mystery anymore. It's my view that the pioneering way to do this, and these planets and energies are in Aries right now. The pioneering way, the Aries energy, the new way, Mars, action, is to do this in the human body, in the human form. So we can elevate the human form. And when I just talked about I can generate a light body, I am in my light body now in this moment, okay, as I'm also in the physical form. So now I've taken that loving state that I generated during the meditation and I see it in its fifth dimensional state as my whole being, powered by soul. This is a divine force. So here's the secret. If a person cannot connect with love, this is a tougher state to generate. And this confused me at first until I realized that it feels like until I allow the fifth dimensional state to be present in the third and the fourth dimension of the physical and the astral, pure unconditional love feels like neutral. Why? Because it's non-judgmental. There's no charge, positive or negative. Now, when I connect with my own soul in the body and I imagine love, I'm engaging the physical energy structure. I'm engaging emotions. I'm engaging, I'm engaging thoughts through the creation of the process, right? Hmm. So when it comes to ascension and descension, what we're talking about is understanding the multiple dimensional states we can have in the field. We can have a lower state or a higher state. We can have a state connected with unconditional love, generating a fifth dimensional state of being or not, right? But that connection is from the level of the soul. Because we've been, as human beings, we've been unaware of the concept that we have an energy field. Now, if we have a field with a boundary, right, like this glass, and it has a boundary, the glass, that the water can be within. In my field, the energy is within the structure of my field. And I like to imagine an actual sphere, right, that contains my energy. I call this the crucible of energy of my field. And I set permissions. Nothing can get in or out that's not in my highest good. Right? I do not agree to receive transmissions that are not in alignment with the truth of my own soul at the highest levels of love and light, right? At the highest levels of literally the creator's love for me expressed into human form. Wow, my voice just changed. It just got deeper. Right, because of the acknowledgement, I'm bringing it in. The acknowledgement that this is big, right? This is big, that at that level, I am loved. That the literal creator of the universe loves this little human being, 1 out of 7,000,000,000, 7.7 billion, right? And yet the creator loves me passionately and with a pureness of heart that is beyond my comprehension. Although I have experienced it in spiritual experience, and it was incredible. Ah, wow, that was big. I'm bringing that love to right now. I feel suddenly my body feels stressed, and why is that? Yeah, it's, mm, can be hard to what is more challenging than to understand that the living God would love a relationship with you, right? Now I've got Jesus here with me, Jesus Christ, and just feeling his presence. I'm having a spiritual experience with you guys right now. Mm, a little bit. It feels a little embarrassing to me. Okay, so this is being in a physical being I'm in a fifth dimensional state of being, but yeah, I can feel that the body, right? The lower state, the third and the fourth is like, should I feel embarrassed right now? So what am I going to do? I'm going to bring that love to those emotions, just like we did in the meditation, remember? Okay, so I'm just going to be it right here, right now with you. Woo, this is the adventure. Here I am embarrassed. That's my emotion of being embarrassed while also feeling unconditional love. I'm going to apply that love so that it transmutes. Let me just do that in a moment. Yeah. Mm. So you see what that was, right? What is this from? How many times have I sat in church and had to listen to the, and I'm going to invoke a sacred space of sacred discharge over this. In the sermon, in the liturgy. Now it's hard for me to get details, because I'm in the fifth dimensional state of being. My mind doesn't want to process the minute details. Um, in both Catholicism, but it was also in, Episcopalian churches. I don't know if it's in other Protestant churches, but what they say is, they make everyone say every Sunday, "Lord, I am not worthy to receive you, but only say the word and I shall be healed." And finally, I started saying, "No, I do not consent to that. I am worthy to receive God's love for me," right? Lower forces, no, I do not consent to your offer that I'm not worthy. No, I do not consent to that. Unconditional love, right? I transmute the embarrassment to unconditional love, and now it's all good. Woo, that was exciting. See what I'm talking about? This is the adventure. This is the pioneering that we have the opportunity to do as humans that are alive during this shift. And as we do this more and more and we live it day to day, right? Even in this moment talking to you, I live the new experience of transmuting the energy in the field, declining the offer from the lower state of being, right? From the habit of mind, from the habit of life, right? That I experienced for literally, I mean, I went to church. My parents brought me to church for the first, till I was 16. And here's the thing, you know, I let go any feelings about that and transmute them. I have no ill feelings about that because that gave me a relationship with God. It gave me the opportunity to develop prayer, to develop the relationship, to develop a relationship for me with Jesus Christ, which is important to me, and which guided me through many, many hard times. So I bless it all, That whole structure has been created over 2,000 years, the structure of our churches. So let's cut them a break and now bring the new to it. That's where I'm at with it. That does not mean accepting abuse. It does not mean accepting what's not aligned. But what do? I sit in church, and when I hear that stuff, I say, no, I do not consent. This is the new energy structure, right? This is the new energy structure. It is. I am worthy to receive this. I know it, and I be this in the moment. And I can't tell you how many times now I've done that in church. I have a real synergistic love and relationship for Erasmus. Erasmus was a Middle East, not a Middle East, Middle Ages writer and philosopher who rewrote the entire liturgy. And he translated the Bible, which was an incredible act for his time. Um, And I used to go to a church where they printed out the liturgy, and I know that this might sound sacrilegious to some people, but I would just sit in there and write the new words of the new liturgy in there. I am worthy to receive you, God. I am worthy to be alive and have a living connection with God and with my own soul. right? I'd sit there and rewrite the liturgy, like, and then I would just laugh thinking, "I wonder if Erasmus did that." There's a Greek, goddess, Deianira, and she was married to I don't know if she's a goddess, but she was married to Hercules, and she had a very tragic story, but this tragic story gives us the tools to rise out of victimhood and reclaim the relationship with the soul. And within the astrology chart at the moment, this up, down is so prominent. And it complements, it complements the energies on the Schumann where we're having these big spikes, almost like encouraging us on our journey. When I say the astrology chart, and then I'm going to finish up, when I say the astrology chart is showing an up down energy, what I mean is, for example, when Pluto went to 0 degrees Aquarius, there was a triangle of energy in the center of the chart between Pluto, Ceres, and Sedna. Okay. So Pluto's the lord of the underworld. So he goes down to the underworld, rules it. Okay. And then is able to come back up should he desire. Again, I've declared a space of sacred discharge. I'm not invoking any external energies here, but I am being present with the energies of my own soul, which include the shadow, which include my shadow, right? We all have a shadow and light. I'm just laughing over that. So on the astrology chart, Ceres is in the triangle with Pluto. Now, a triangle is very positive, and she went down into the underworld to rescue her child, who was grabbed by Hades, a form of Pluto, and taken to the underworld. She went down there and got her. Okay. This is the divine mother, the strength of presence and being, right? That she would just say, F it, I'm going to the underworld and getting her back. And so that's very admirable energy. And Ceres had to go through a lot to get through that journey of going down there. And it's essentially a journey of bearing the soul, right? Because we are willing to bring the light to the whole of who we are, no matter what that is, and face it. Face it. That's the meaning of going to the underworld and recovering the child, which on a personal level is the inner child, right? We recover our relationship with the wounded self, and then we return it to the soul, the rest of the soul that we are in living human form, or send it back to the oversoul, depending on where you are with that state of being. The other point in the triangle on the astrology chart when Pluto went into Aquarius was Sedna. Sedna was thrown overboard by her father, okay, in a storm, and she sank to the bottom of the ocean. And then, through the course of her transformation, which is a Pluto energy, she rose back up through the ocean and recovered herself and became a goddess. She transmuted into her divinity, just like we talked about in the meditation. I'm going to bring the light to this human form. I'm going to allow it to shine through me, through the soul that I already am. So I take the human form, which is at a lower dimensional state. I elevate this form, this way of being, this life into a fifth dimensional state, and I maintain my third dimensional state at the same time. Okay. This is revolutionary. So you had that up down energy of going to the depths and coming up from Pluto, Sedna, um, and Ceres as Pluto moved into Aquarius. So what does this say from an astrological perspective? Because this colors all of the energies. Um, and what that says is that this is a core feature of the move from Pluto into Aquarius, which will be occurring over the next 2 years, right? Because Pluto's gonna go back into Capricorn, move into Aquarius, go back into Capricorn, move into Aquarius. So I invite you, to look at your shadow side. And what I wanna say is sometimes, this can require assistance. If you are struggling, that you reach out and you reach for the resources. whether that's a healthcare professional, like a psychologist that you feel you need to work with, and on a spiritual level, maybe it's someone who has shamanic training. Maybe it's the training to go through meditation. Maybe it's the training in the spiritual work of bringing the light of your own soul, shining that light into the areas that have been past traumas and wounds in your life. But this is the time to do it over the next 2 years, and here's the thing, the rewards are great because everybody talks about the astrology energies in terms of the negatives, okay? But here's the thing, shocks can result in a positive. Shocks can result into, "I moved to an incredibly new place and I love it." Shocks can result into, "I just received this incredible gift," or, "I changed my viewpoint so much that now my life is turning around," right? These are the opportunities as well, with Pluto moving into the Aquarius and generating this incredible grand trine of energy in the center of the chart, okay? So even though Uranus is on the land, right? Uranus is in Taurus at 17 degrees, at least it was yesterday when I looked, 11:11. Woo! Time to finish up here, but I wanna complete the astrological concept that goes with the meditation we talked about, and that goes with the Schumann that we talked about, because all of these energies play together, okay? So here's what it is. Um, what it is that we are transforming the land. I am the land. Uranus in Taurus, I transform myself, and it can happen in a moment. So if you don't feel love in your heart, right, as you're doing the meditation, hang in there, because these are the energies where sudden shifts are possible, right? So Uranus in Taurus, dramatic shifts to the land, dramatic shifts to the human body. I am the land. This is the land my soul inhabits. This is the form. I am the living soul and form speaking through this body, although I do not remember or have the wisdom of the ultimate soul that I am from direct from the creator. Okay, I'm doing the best I can here. Do you see that? Do you see the miraculous shift that Taurus with Uranus in it can bring? And is it uncomfortable? Yes. It's extremely uncomfortable. I know I've been so, and part of the reason it's uncomfortable is because of the interpretations, but because we also have a sense that change is coming somehow in our world. But if the change is what kept us from achieving this living connection with God in some way, then why not? Why not allow that change to occur? Because when I first started shifting to a fifth dimensional state of being in my field, all right, this was over 10 years ago for me that I started this practice that I'm walked you through at the beginning of this video. Did I feel shifts in my body and my field? Yes, I did. And it was a physical experience as well as an energy experience, and I am very grateful for it. Because as we allow the 5D state to take hold from within our heart, and what I mean is generated by us, this is not from outside the self, and I walked through the details in the meditation earlier. Mm. But as we generate this within the self, it causes shocking shifts, okay? Um, Once I chose to embody, to recover my soul, right? In this Pluto into Aquarius, right? The triangle of energy that's about going to the depths and bringing back the soul, right? Going to the depths, i.e., the soul comes to earth, lands in the body, and then we recover the soul by bringing it to light, bringing it to our attention, bringing it into the human form through being, through connection, through the loving, the willingness to receive love. Okay. So in one of my previous meditations, I talked about the 4 ways that it's important to be willing, and that opens the door for us to create this state of being within. And the work is simply allowing the love of our own soul through the heart into the body, into the form, into the field, and to be willing to understand that I am loved this much by the creator of all that is. I am loved this much by the living flame of light that is my own soul. So, this is how we can, in a shockingly pioneering way, look at the astrology of this time, right? That it's a transformation literally of the human ourselves, right? And that transformation occurs in thought first. And we have all these planets in Aries, the astrological sign of the head, inviting us to shift and change. Okay. And it's important to moderate, where you feel, don't overdo it with these energies, because they can affect the physical. And in the meditation, I talked about how to address thought loops that get too intense in the field, by applying the state of being, the fifth dimensional state of being, to them. So isn't this interesting? This is a fascinating way to look at the astrology. Okay, so it's been wonderful being with all of you today. Thank you so much for being here. God bless. Have a really happy new moon and a wonderful day.